Welcome back, friends. I came up with another important and very interesting database scenario. Please focus and practice this here. This is very, very important. So let me share my screen. Let me go back to my playground. So before deriving the database expression, let me explain about the expected output. So the input to this data view is the list of employees. So if you observe the input, it contains the three employees: employee CEO, CTO, and dev manager. So CEO is the topmost employee in the organization. He doesn't have any, he or she doesn't have any manager. So manager ID is a null for the CEO, and employee ID is E01 is the employee ID of the CEO, right? If you come to CTO employee ID is E02, and CEO is manager of the CTOs. Therefore, the manager ID of CTO is the employee ID of the CEO. In a similar fashion, dev manager is a subordinate to CTO. So the manager ID of the dev manager is the employee ID of the CTO. It is very clear, no doubts in that. And the expected output is we need to build a structure of the hierarchy. If you observe this output, right? So now, based on this input, the top position CEO, and there is subordinate list for the CEO. In that subordinate list, CTO comes, and CTO has subordinates. In that subordinate list, dev manager comes. And as of now, as per the input, there are no subordinates with the dev managers, therefore it is empty, right? So we need to derive this output, this tree, based on the input. So let's work on how we can derive this database expression to get this output. Okay. So what I'm doing is I'm just creating a function. So what's the function I want to derive is I want to get the employee object based on the manager object. Okay. So I'm simply writing one function like function build tree. I'm passing the manager ID for this function, manager ID. Okay. So based on this manager ID, I want to get the employee object of that corresponding manager ID. Okay. So payload filter. This item I'm changing to EMP for more readable purpose. And here EMP dot manager ID is equal to whatever manager ID I passed as an input parameter to the function. Okay. I simply define this function. Let me test this one first. Before going further, let me test this function. So I want to know the employee object. I want to get the employee object of the CEO. So build tree, I'm calling from the script. So the manager ID of the CEO null, right? I'm just passing the null. I'm getting the CEO object. And first, you want to get CTO object, I want to pass the employee of the CEO. Just I'm passing this E01. So E01, braces are missing, the ports are missing, right? The CTO, right? So my function is returning the employee object based on the manager ID, right? So now what I'm doing is I'm iterating over this function map, and this item I'm giving as EMP1. Okay, here what I'm doing is I'm deriving this sentence structure. The first field is name, emp1 dot name, right? And second field is subordinates, comma, subordinates. So now here what I'm doing is I'm calling the same function, build tree function recursive manner. This time I'm passing the employee ID. Okay, I'm passing the employee ID. So build tree emp1 dot empid, right? So now what's manager ID? What's input I'm passing? I'm passing the E01, right? E01 is the CTO manager ID. Therefore, you can able to see the hierarchy from starting with CTO and the subordinates. If you want the CEO, then I need to pass the CEO manager ID. So for that, I'm just changing to null. See, now CEO on top, under CEO CTO, under CEO dev manager. So I will get the entire structure, entire tree of the organization, right? So this is little tricky recursive function. Therefore, please practice this. I'm putting the input and output in the description. Practice it. Thank you so much for watching. I will be get back with more data videos next. Okay. Thank you so much.